Previously on HVACR videos.
Customer called, said the walk-in freezer's not working. You guys are not gonna believe what I found. So, can you guys see anything wrong with the walk-in freezer condenser? Anything jumping out at you? Let me get a closer look. Look at that. Tweakers got in here and stole the copper lines. Well, this is the tweaker aftermath part 2. I kind of wondered if they had gotten on the roof. So it looks like they ripped the drain. Oh yeah, they busted the drain pans.
This video is brought to you by Sporlan. Quality, integrity, and tradition.
Look at this. Drain pan. They got in here, they started cutting. Both stages on this AC are completely flat on gas. So they started cutting the evaporator out. But this is a busted drain pan. These are the old Lennox units that are steel drain pans underneath. So this AC is a lost cause. It's an 03. The condenser's deteriorated. For my inspection, it doesn't look like the condenser is cut, but it's hard to say. There's no telling until we dig into these, but every AC they attacked. Again, drain pan, and they completely broke it off in there. This one still has gas. Don't know if there's any damage. And look at how they busted the drain lines below the roof deck, and I tried pulling on that and it doesn't pull up, so we got to get someone underneath the roof deck, or we got to butcher that to get to it. Heat's working on this one. This one, the cooling did work, but they busted the drain pan on this one too. Completely broke the drain pan off. And you can see what I'm saying if we go over here. This one, see this steel fitting right here? This is part of the drain pan. So see, that's what they broke off. It's a steel drain pan. So this one, they were able to break just that off. But it's a mess. Below the roof deck. This one right here looks like they might have, but the question is the drain pan damaged? I mean, you know, you don't know. Tweakers though, man. Good grief, what a mess, right? The roof is something else too. All right, doing a site survey right now. We got 5 new adapter curves. We got 5 new ACs coming tomorrow. So I came out today to just verify everything's correct, and then get a materials list for conduit and things like that, so that way I can run by the electrical supply house and get wire and conduit. We're gonna have to get 5 of these units up and running tomorrow, so let's see how this goes. All right, so we had a plumber come out and get underneath the roof deck and stub out copper drain lines because the tweakers had stolen them. We'll make sure we paint them when we're done, but you know, I don't know if they're gonna steal them again or what. But also, this roof is a disaster, and the customer's actually getting the roof replaced too. So as soon as we get done with the AC job, they're gonna have a roofer come in and you know, give them quotes and all that stuff. So I'd like to, I don't know if I really want to get too involved with it, but they don't use this swamp cooler anymore, and man, it'd be kind of nice to get rid of that, but you know, that's a problem for another day. So right now I'm just opening up, looking at my conduit, what size it is. That's 1-inch conduit. This looks like number 8 wire. It's a 50 amp circuit. I'm just going around seeing what's required. So we've got 3 8-ton units, I think, and then 2 5-ton units is what we're doing. So, but yeah, we got to get it all done tomorrow. I don't know if we'll get the gas lines done tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how that works. All right, it is 5:15 in the morning. We got a busy day, so a lot of moving parts to this day. Delivery trucks, cranes, disposal trucks, all kinds of stuff showing up. We're going to uncrate these guys by we're waiting for management to get here. They're supposed to be here at 5:30, so we got about 15 minutes. We're going to start uncrating these and then working our way through the process. right, we got 5 AC set. Crane lift went good. Nobody got hurt. No damage. So at this point, we're just going to slowly start hooking them up. Now we're going to start with the dining room where the customers will be first, their front entry and their bar, and then we'll work our way into the dining rooms, and then the kitchen unit, which is back here, will be absolutely last. Working our way through things, doing thermostat wires and electrical. The size of this guy, I want to up the size of this wire, but they're going to have to get an electrician for that. This guy's running 50 amps with a minimum of 42. And the 8 gauge, I just not really a big fan of that, but I want an electrician to come out and look into that. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to go ahead and up the size of the wire from the junction box to number 6 to the unit, and then if the electrician deems it necessary, I have a feeling they'll probably have to up the size of their breakers too, because I bet you the breakers aren't the right size. But anyways, we'll let the electrician deal with that. I'll get it up and running. And yeah, we're just moving along. Messes and everything is going to be a all-day project here. We'll come through and we'll secure the conduits later, but when I run my conduit and wire, I like to run extra wire with a service loop, so that way if there's ever an issue, and I secured it so it's not going to rub or anything, and then that way we have room in case a wire ever burns or anything like that. Yeah, so moving along. I really dig this about the Lennox units. You can just change the orientation of the drain pan, have it drain out the other side of the unit if it's convenient. You can also do a bottom drain, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. But yeah, we're going to flip this around so it drains out the other side, because that's where the drain line's at over there. So super nice. Waiting on a fitting. I have someone going to get me this 1" to 3/4 reducer, but got the drain kind of piped and mocked up where we want it. I like to put lots of T's, and then I'll put a cap on here. That way you can blow out the trap, blow everything out nice and good, blow out the main. Getting there, and then we'll paint it black and hopefully the tweakers ignore it. Something is going on here. So I noticed that when I was sanding this copper and pushing it together that it was tight. It's so tight that I can't get this stuff off. And all I'm doing is fitting it. It's almost like it's a different size. It's a trip. I got it in there, but it just, like, seriously, I'm having to use a wrench to get it off. Every fitting is like that. That's crazy. It's being a pain in the butt. Using some of the Nylog white thread sealant, goes on super smooth, clean, looks good. Just kind of wipe off the excess. So use splicing lugs in here. Everything's nice and good. I like these splicing lugs because they're insulated, so super cool. We're gonna shove those in there, cover that up. We're just moving along. All right, we turned on power to the first unit. We checked phase rotation with the field piece meter. So we go line 1 to 2, and then the meter says line 3 now. So then we jump 1 over to line 3, line 1, 2, 3. So the phase rotation is correct. We bumped the indoor blower contactor, made sure the indoor blower motor was running in the right direction. Disconnected the thermostat. We don't have it programmed, so I'm gonna fire this unit up after I program the Prodigy controller. We're gonna fire it up from here. That way this unit runs. We're kind of done with the drain line. I've still got to paint it. Once I paint it, then you know, it'll be better and stuff. But lots of clean outs. I love clean outs. So we got a clean out right here. This is loose and not soldered. There's clean out here, clean out there, and then I was thinking about putting a union, but we'll see. So it's like in Toy Story. Someone flipped the switch. It's all in Spanish. Where you at, Yamo? I gotta figure out how to change this back to English. What the heck, man? What the heck, man? All right, so we got every AC up and running. We do not have any of the gas lines hooked up. Electrical's hooked up, drain lines are done, drain lines are painted. We'll come back, do proper startup tomorrow, gas lines. We installed thermostats today. On some of these units, the cool thing, I showed it, but you can flip the drain pans around to make them pop out. So this one pops out this side, this one pops out this side. Turned out really nice. So every AC is running. The restaurant's not going to know what to do with themselves because they haven't had ACs for a while. Well, they haven't had a kitchen AC for months, actually. We'll deal with all this stuff later. But yeah, looking good. Like I said, electricians will have to come in and redo. More than likely they'll have to decide whether or not they want to redo the wiring going down to the panels, but I went ahead and went with number 6 up here just to be safe. But yeah, that's it for today. This panel was missing. They didn't send the hood with this, so they're gonna have to deal with it. We'll end up putting that back on tomorrow. And that's it for today. We're tired. Let's see, it's 3 p.m. on June 8th. And let's see, we got here at 5:30 this morning, so it's been a long day. All right, we are back today. Now I gotta figure out these dang gas lines, man. These are gonna be a pain. Got to get them repiped to every unit. End up redoing most of it. These units are a little bit different, but we got to go to every AC. I saved all the old stuff in case we need, you know, miscellaneous fittings and things like that. There's not really much wrong with it, but yeah, we just gotta get everything all piped in, and then we also got to figure out the final startup on these units, programming the economizers, duct detectors, all that good stuff. All right, it'd be awesome if I had a pipe threader, you know, because then I could make them, but I was able to do it. So we're still gonna paint it. We got to support it still, but I was able to go solid all the way in. Union right here, shut off right there, all the way over to here, all the way over to here. So we'll paint it, make it look pretty. I got my guy going to get supports and stuff. You know, it is what it is. All right, we've got one over there done. We've got the kitchen AC done. Now I'm jumping on this other big one before I jump to the little 5 tons. These things can be tricky because this is old. So I'm gonna try to utilize this shut off and some of this stuff, but I got to turn this whole fitting this way. But it's really stuck on there, the paint and everything. So you got to use some good old muscle. My pipe wrenches are probably a little bit too small. I don't do a lot of gas work. You know, if I did more, then I'd probably get some bigger pipe wrenches, which makes it a little bit harder for me. But I have a breaker bar down in my van if I need it to give me some more leverage. So, and I have another person up here, so if I had to, we can get 2 people. But we got to get this guy to turn and hope that we don't cause any leaks or anything. All right, we're on our last one. That's this guy right here, little 5 ton. It's being a pain, but I'm on a roll and I want to get this done. We're using the new Nylog white as our pipe dope, and it's working awesome so far. It comes on clear. Now you do want to wipe it off, but since we're painting it, it's not a big deal. We also used it on the drain lines too. So it's cool, works good, no issues whatsoever. And the cool thing that it's clear is it's not the end of the world if it gets on your pants. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sloppy idiot when it comes to pipe dope, and I usually end up with it in my nose, in my ears, on my pants, you know, and it sucks. And this Nylog white is awesome because it's clear. All right, got the last one plumbed in. Gas line's good. We're still not gonna be able to finish up today because I've got something to do, but we'll come back and do the official startup. But the gas lines are in. So when we come back, all that we need to do is verify programming on the ACs, fire the heaters, check the thermostat programming, you know, and just make sure that the smoke detectors are working and different stuff like that. But everything's good, operational, gas lines are on, no leaks. Units are marked. We're just kind of going around doing a double check. There's some screws missing out of a few things. We had taken the flashings off of every unit, and we're going to let the roofers put those back on because supposedly they're replacing the entire roof. So I doubt that they'll reuse those, but we left them just to be cool. That thing pissed me off. One of our guys almost hit his eye on that stupid antenna that wasn't being used. It was right here. And you can see I put my Sawzall to good use. Yeah, so that's it for today. Because I don't have a pipe threader, all that I do is just go to Home Depot and buy a crap ton of gas line, what I think, kind of estimate, and then I end up taking a crap ton back. But, you know, I don't do enough of these AC jobs to justify a pipe threader. I mean, I know you can rent them too, but oh well. All right, I'm back. We're firing up the heaters, burning off the oil on the heat exchangers, just verifying proper operation, going through everything. When I do this, I just put it in test mode. I also went down and programmed all the thermostats. I informed the management, you know, it may smell kind of funny and stuff. We take off these panels so that we can blow most of the crap out. Some of it is going to go downstairs. That panel doesn't fit directly over there. You know, on some of these units, you luck out because the panel that's right here fits perfectly over the heat exchanger, so that way you can make it a side discharge, but that's not the case in this one. So we're going to continue to do the same for every AC. Burn them off for 5 to 10 minutes, let them run, and then just verify proper operation. Last thing I'm going to do is just go through, program the boards just to make sure everything's good, and we're going to be done with this guy today. The customer's still going to have to get a hold of the electrician. I'm going to let the electrician make the decision on whether or not to use the existing feed wire coming up. I think it's marginally sized, especially for the ambient temperatures that we have. It hits about 115 degrees out here in the summertime. So I think that they should upgrade the wiring, but the electrician, that's his job, not mine. So I just, you know, default to him to take the liability off of me, basically. So, but yeah, everything's good. Don't see any major issues. So we're going to call this one done.
Wow. You know, these tweakers can really wreak havoc on top of these buildings and these restaurants. So this happened, I think, back in March. Gosh, it was a long time ago. And the customer approved all the new equipment, but it took forever to get the equipment. The curbs was the hardest part, because the curb adapters, the existing units that were on site that were damaged had curb adapters, right? And the new units that were replacing those needed new curb adapters. They didn't fit on the existing curb adapters. So it was difficult. We kind of went back and forth because we were trying to get the customer to track down because they buy their own equipment through Linux International. So we tried to get a hold of Linux International, and they tried to call the original curb adapter manufacturer from 2004 when we originally installed these units all the way back then, because we were going to have to lift the existing units off the roof and lift the adapter curbs off the roof so we can measure the original platform, because we could, for the life of us, we save a lot of information. So when we did these units in, I think it was 2004, we usually have job files with all that. And for some reason, this restaurant, we didn't have a job file. So I couldn't figure out for the life of me what the original unit manufacturer was. Long story short, it was a Linux GCS unit. Okay. But I was thinking it was a Train unit, because like I can picture some of these restaurants, and some of them had Train, the BAY model number Train units. I can't remember what those were called. And then some of them had original Carrier units. So like I kept trying to go to other restaurants that were similar to this one and measure, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the original unit was. And I was not thinking that it was going to be a Linux GCS unit. That blew my mind. But anyways, so we found the original information from the original curb manufacturer, and they were able to take that original GCS Linux unit and make a new adapter curb for this new unit. So that was the biggest hurdle. That took a couple months for them to do that. Plus it was, you know, craziness. And anyways, whatever. The customer orders their own stuff, so I really wasn't stressing too much about it. It was like kind of on them. All that I do is just measure the units and fill out, you know, what they need, and then they take care of all that crap. So it's kind of what happens, you know, it's kind of what they get when they want to buy their own equipment and stuff. Is I'm not going to do all the footwork for them, you know, like I'm going to do what I can, but I'm not going to bend over backwards, because I'm not selling them a unit, you know. Basically what I'm selling them is labor, installation materials, the crane, you know, just that kind of stuff. And we orchestrate everything. And I do want to point something out too. I said in the beginning, and I get people asking me all the time, and I get even my employees asking me and stuff. So previous employees have asked me about this. When we do rooftop changeouts, when we change air conditioners, we do not scrap the units, okay? We used to scrap them. What we used to do, because we've done a lot of these roof sweeps where we go and change all the ACs, what we used to do is we used to go rent flatbed trucks from like Penske or something like that. We'd rent like 2 of them, and we'd take them to the job site and we'd load them up with the ACs. And then we would take those ACs back, recover the charge, and then take them to the scrapyard, get paid obviously for the units. But what we found out was what we got paid for the units, basically we would break even on the rental truck fees. And we don't do enough of these to justify buying our own trucks. So we actually found the delivery driver. We got to know the delivery driver that would always deliver these Linux units. We became, you know, business acquaintances with him. And we were talking to him one time, and he's like, hey, I scrapped these units if you guys want me to take them. And we really got to liking that, because he would deliver the units, and then we put the old units on his truck after we recovered the gas, and he would take them, and we wouldn't have any fees. We wouldn't have to pay for trucks and the hassle. You know, like when you think about it, I have to take my employees and pay my employees to drive that to the recycling yard, or if we want to cut them up and scrap just the copper, like you have to pay people to to do that stuff because I don't have the time to do it. So anyways, the question I get all the time is what do we do with our old equipment? If it's an air conditioner, we let the delivery driver take it. And our delivery driver, it's really cool too. Even if he's not delivering it, he'll send a truck out to pick up the equipment. So and he's like a legit dude. He's not driving a Toyota pickup truck trying to put a 15-ton package unit in. I mean, he's coming in a fully set up trailer behind, fifth wheel. It's a nice setup, so you don't feel like there's going to be a problem or anything. Okay, so anyways, long story short, that's what we do with the existing units. So this was a big job. I used to do a lot of these early in my career. From 2002 to 2005, we went all over California, not even Southern California. We went, Southern California, from Los Angeles down to San Diego. And we would do roof sweeps at this particular restaurant chain and just change 5-6 units at a time. Boom, boom, boom. So I actually cut my teeth in HVAC doing these roof sweeps. And obviously I've learned a lot since the beginning. It's interesting too, because the roof sweeps that's where I learned about smoke detectors, because we would install smoke detectors and then we could never figure out how they were working, and the people that I was working with couldn't figure it out. And that's when I really started doing research and figuring out about them. And, anyways, whatever. I just like to dig into things when nobody can explain to me how they work, So this was a monumental job for us. Meaning that we don't do this very often, and it was a pretty busy setup. There's a lot of moving parts, and our crew's a little bit short right now too. So we had 3 guys on the roof basically doing all this work. We had 1 guy downstairs on the ground, rigging the units, lifting them up. So we had 4 people on the job doing this all together. And it was a busy 2.5 days basically. Of work, and doing the gas lines and doing the startup and, testing all that stuff. It's a fun experience though. When it's all said and done, it's always fun to look back on these things. So, you really have to understand how these units work. You have to read the installation instructions. You have to know what's going on, okay? So, for instance, these units come with duct smoke detectors installed to them, but they have test caps in the duct smoke detectors, so you have to take those test caps out. They come set up for single-stage cooling, so or at least when you install the thermostats are single-stage, so you really have to be meticulous about going through and setting the units up correctly. Setting up the Prodigy boards to make sure that the smoke detectors are recognized and that the right outside air dampers set up. I don't know if I really talked about it in the video. I don't think I did. They did not order the right outside air dampers for these air conditioning units. They were actually supposed to be full-fledged economizers. And what they sent was minimum outside air dampers. Well, these restaurants rely on the air conditioners for their air balance. Like I said in the video, that big giant Makeup Air swamp cooler, evaporative cooler, is not being used anymore because it's been shut down by a balance company, and they basically have gone to all the air conditioners and they use the air conditioners as the outside air. Well, with a minimum outside air damper like they shipped the existing new units, that's not going to work. So the customer has already ordered new economizers, and whenever they come, I'll go and install them. And again, all this stuff is happening because of the equipment shortages. Lennox International did not ship the units with VFDs in them. So Lennox National Accounts is actually going to send their own technicians out, and they're going to set up all the bigger units with VFDs. The smaller units all have ECM motors, so those ones are fine. But California law says, or energy code requirements, Title 24 says that they have to have 2-speed fans on these units. The indoor fan needs to stage with the different compressors. So there's still some work to be done on these ACs. I know this wasn't a crazy technical video, but I thought you guys would like this. It's a little different from my normal service call stuff. We do this kind of stuff. It's not very often that I show these installs because we do ACs and walk-ins and things. I typically don't like to show my employees in videos, but I made I decided to let that slide on this one right here, and my employees were all cool with it too. So anyways, nothing too crazy in this one, just time consuming, doing the gas lines, fitting everything. Of course, if I was a bit more prepared and I did more of these on a regular basis, I would consider investing in a pipe threader. not really something that I can justify, because I do not. I mean, the last time I did a roof sweep of 5 ACs was probably, I don't know, 3-4 years ago or something like that. Usually we just do like 1 AC at a time, and most of the time you're not doing a whole lot of gas work and stuff. So just not really something I can justify. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, please check out my website, hvacrvideos.com. We got the hats, the shirts. You guys have been killing it in the support. My wife is swamped with orders and stuff, so thank you guys so very much. And if you guys haven't ordered anything and you're interested, please help keep my wife busy and help support the channel by ordering some stuff, okay? When I say help to keep my wife busy, she's the one that packages and processes the orders, and the shirts are all back there and in these boxes and everything, so she takes them to the post office and works with the computer system and does all that good stuff. So thank you all so very much. Now, if you guys are also interested in supporting the channel, obviously the website hvacrvideos.com. The easiest way though to support the channel is simply watch these videos from start to finish without skipping through anything. You can also support the channel via Patreon. There's a link in the show notes of this video. You can support it via PayPal, via YouTube channel memberships. If you guys are interested in purchasing tools, right? If you have to buy tools for work or anything like that, check out truetechtools.com, and you can use my offer code Big Picture, one word. You can save 8% on your order at the moment, okay? That could change tomorrow, but as of today, it's an 8% discount. I have to say that because these videos stay on my channel forever, and who knows, maybe someday they'll change that discount to a higher or lower. I don't know. If you guys know what you're going to purchase from True Tech Tools, you can shoot me an email to hvacrvideos@gmail.com and let me know what it is, and I can generate an affiliate link. Now, you don't get any more of a discount if I generate an affiliate link, but I actually get a little bit more of a commission. So when you use my offer code, I get a small commission, and if you use an affiliate link that I send you, I also get a little bit of a bump on the commission. You still get to use the discount code. You still save the 8%. So if you guys are interested in purchasing tools, that's another way you could help to support the channel, is if you see something you like on truetechtools.com and you like their pricing, then shoot me that email and I'll generate that link for you, okay? Other than that, remember that I try to do live streams Monday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific. Obviously, work permitting, the last couple live streams I haven't really been able to make it because I've been super slammed at work. Also go live on the HVAC Overtime channel with my buddies, Adam, Bill, and Joe. And we just kind of recap the week. That's on Friday evenings about 6:05 p.m. Pacific time. Okay? So that is it. We will catch you on the next one.